Sound. Look at that. There's sound, I think. Yeah. That was us. You can hear us. Can you hear us? Are you sure you can hear us? Am I supposed to switch the music off? Let's go back and have a look. As if I understand how this thing's worked. Now then, Rich, stop me from being flash, but you're not in the picture. That's still going to hurt your neck, isn't it?
Well, it's either that or actually...
Oh, there we are. Look at this.
How about this? The wonders of modern technology.
Beautiful work.
There we go. I can stand behind you two.
Yay. Right, okay then. Should we start podcasting or whatever the heck we are doing? Final score is Wrexham 1, Barnet 1, and Wrexham, I think, will be disappointed not to have come away with this with the 3 points, in all honesty. I think both sides look good, having said that. Barnet certainly looked a decent side, moved the ball around very well, but Wrexham made a lot of chances, Rich, didn't they, really? And
they did.
Had the opportunities to win this one.
Yeah, they did. Barnet started very brightly, but, sorry, my cable's just got pulled tight there. They started very, very, very brightly. Wrexham, against the first couple of minutes run of play, managed to pull off a really good goal. And it looked like there was plenty of goals left in that game, I think. It was probably just the heat that took the tempo out of it at the end.
Well, as Ollie pointed out, we have Scottish players, and therefore they can't cope with that sort of malarkey.
That's exactly
it. So Wrexham took the lead and after bang on 2.5 minutes. Essentially, the first time they crossed the halfway line. By that point, already Barnet had gone close once, 90th second of the game. It was a very fast start by Barnet. They really got at Wrexham, and Akinola picked it up in the left channel, cut inside on his right foot, tried to place it. Dibble was sprawling but beaten, and it went just wide of the post. But like I said, 2 minutes later, 1 minute later, beg your pardon, Wrexham were ahead, and it was a lovely goal. Barnum Bob standing the ball into the edge of the area. It looked like Hooper wouldn't quite be able to reach it. Fantastic first touch to stretch, bring it under control, and as he brought it down, Loach, the keeper, had come out because he thought it was going to carry through to him. He was stranded, and Hooper acted very quickly to lift it over him. Brilliant goal, Ollie.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I said on commentary when the goal went in, it's like Loach hasn't seen what attributes JJ Hooper possesses, because we've seen it so many times this season where balls have been played over the top and Hooper's been able to bring them down at audacious heights and be able to control it. That's exactly what he did today. It was exhibit A of what he can do with that, and Loach hasn't anticipated that actually Hooper is able to do that. I should probably stay put. He's come out and Hooper's been able to finish it. It was a difficult chance to finish as well, because not only did he have to control it, but he also had to judge the lob as well, which was really nice, perfectly weighted, and a really good goal.
Trouble is for Wrexham that Barnet responded with a maybe even better goal. Wonderful strike. The pattern of the first 15 minutes really was that Barnet had a good control of the ball, moved it on confidently, but Wrexham looked very dangerous whenever they broke forwards. And Wrexham did have a chance to go 2-0 up as well before that Barnet equaliser. It was a nice run by Rutherford down the left channel. He fed in the overlapping Jennings. He drove in across at the near post. Harris had made another good run right to left. The movement of the front four of Wrexham was excellent today. Harris arrived 6 yards out ahead of the defender at the near post, but he just couldn't adjust his body shape enough to help it across the keeper, and he put it into the side netting at the near side. So a missed opportunity, and then in the 9th minute, just a brilliant goal by Barnet, and the ball was played out down the right hand side. Akinola and Chambers had a real physical scrap. It looked like Chambers had made a very good hard tackle on him, but Akinola managed to get up first and retrieve possession. He fed it back to the edge of the area, and this maybe is the crux of the matter. It was nearly a 50-50 between Jack Taylor and Luke Summerfield, and that tempted Summerfield in to make the challenge. He lunged for it, didn't quite make it. That suddenly meant that the ball fell to Taylor in space in the corner of the box, but my goodness, didn't he use it? Brilliant awareness. Barnet were getting their wing backs forwards and creating extra men on the flanks, and he was aware of that, and he just flipped the most beautiful cross at the far post, and there was a left wing back, Dan Sparks, and he nailed a volley from the corner 6-yard box. Back across Dibble and into the net. And Rich, I mean, it was a high caliber goal, wasn't it?
It was, and as we were talking on the podcast, on the commentary about the Dibble issue, he certainly was not at fault for that goal. It was just a wonder strike, really. He just connected with it, and from the minute that it left his foot, it was just back of the net.
Yeah, brilliant goal that. And then the pattern continued. Wrexham were actually the only team really threatening, even though Barnet looked good on the ball. Free kick swung in by Summerfield. Chambers getting up 15 yards out, heading over. looked like a free header to me, but I think the guys are right, and Santos stretched and couldn't reach the ball in front of Chambers, but he may have maybe just got the tiniest of touches to deflect it onto Chambers' head, so he couldn't control his header. And then with the minute, Wrexham attacking again. Young with a good interception and a really nice ball over the top, finding JJ Hooper running down the left channel. He drove in there. And well, I reckon drove in a shot from a difficult angle. Maybe not. Maybe he was trying to put the cross into Harris unmarked at the far post. Either way, again, Hooper was looking very lively and hungry for goals. Then Hooper again on the edge of the box, out of nowhere. Real opportunistic effort, spinning and hooking a difficult, powerful shot. Keeper read it, Loach. One of those easily the keeper could have not been paying attention and got caught out. There was a water break, which of course is always a bit unusual, and during that, entertainingly, the linesman had to go off injured. The fourth official replaced him, and a coach driver, I think it was Ollie, was he put it?
He looked like a coach
driver. Became the fourth official. Watch out for that on the highlights. Although there was one substitution where the fourth official hobbled out with a big ice pack on his ankle, so the substitutions were fun. And frankly, that turned the game more in Wrexham's favour after the water break and the long stop, and we actually not just kept making chances, but we actually started to get on top of the game, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that's the type of side we are. We're quick-paced, and when you're in these sort of conditions, that will take it out of you. So yeah, once the break had been, I don't think it was any coincidence that we saw Wrexham up the tempo again. And again, at times it can drift. That's where the substitutions were key as well in the second half. When he brought on Tollett, for example, that's an injection of pace and an injection of energy for your side, and it will elongate just how long you can actually keep up that sort of tempo. So yeah, it was good to see that Wrexham were on top when they were really going for it. But yeah, when there was a lull, it did give Barnet the opportunity just to regroup and knock the ball around in the way in which they wanted to play the game.
I just remembered to check the audio. Check the chat as well. I forgot all about that. You can chat with us. I can never say this guy's name, but you're a valued contributor. I7VO Skill 1. Summerfield sounded like he had a good game. He did, I think, didn't he? He was lively in midfield, worked very well. That correspondent is also happy with the fact there's audio. Can you believe it?
Yes,
we've got audio.
I did check, to be fair.
And Hugo 2006 points at audio and video. I did as well. Now then, going back to the game. So after that water break, it was pretty much all Wrexham, really. They had a shout for a penalty. The ball was picked up by Redmond. Nice pass by him. Harris had Rowan isolated. He did cause Rowan some problems when he got the ball down and ran at him. And he ran into the box, went down asking for the foul. We were undecided, I think it's fair to say, or divided as to exactly whether it was a foul or not. Certainly, he was... Ooh, live stream offline. That doesn't sound good.
I'll have a look.
Ooh, we're back on. Right, sorry chaps, we've just lost the connection for a moment there. It doesn't look very healthy, but we're not doing well here. Hopefully at least, and it'll pick up. We're using the club's Wi-Fi, which normally is fine. Anyway, Wrexham continue to push on. This penalty shout, Redmond feeding it in. Harris has a man isolated, man in the box. I thought it might have been a foul. He seemed to get round him and then go down, but I think we need to see the video replay to be certain of that. Then another opportunity when the ball was played into the box. Young cutting inside 50 yards out, good, tried to place it, good parry by the keeper, fell back out to Young again. He stood it up, and JJ Hooper with a glancing header, not quite on target when past the left post. There was a breakaway by Barnet in the last minute of the half. Decent breakaway as well. Nice return ball by Akinola on the edge of the box to Jack Taylor, who 10 yards out lashed a shot in and dibbled it well to his right to parry it. And then in the 5th minute of added time, lots of time added on, of course, of the water break and the injury to the linesman, there was a corner for Wrexham, half cleared, long ball played back in, and Chambers with a little flick header with his back to goal couldn't keep it down. But it was 1-1 at half time. Rich, and it looked like Wrexham were going to push on, in the seconds and keep that tempo going.
Yeah, I was really optimistic at half time, and I thought if it was always going to be tricky to second half and replicate the tempo because of the heat, but I thought we were playing well. I thought we were looking, the key players that we needed to be up for it definitely did look up for it, and I was, I think we were all convinced there were more goals in that game, and I don't think the second half was disappointing. I think there were moments or periods where Wrexham fans were clearly frustrated, but I think that only came from the fact that Wrexham are really patient this season, and they're confident in what they're doing and the way that they're playing. And sometimes, they're prepared to be a little bit more patient, and the fans are not, I think, at times, because, yes, there were some poor first touches now and again, but for the most part, they were looking to play the right balls and looking to play the ball around, which... if you're playing against a team like that that's got the possession like that, it's really frustrating to play against a team like that. And I thought it was a good, overall a good performance. And I thought the second half didn't quite live up to the first half, but it's understandable.
Yeah, it was hot, and I think
it was.
The game got stretched as the second half went on.
It did.
Because of that, Wrexham didn't get their tempo going quite as much, but they still carved out chances. A really good breakaway early in the half. Redmond swinging it across, and Harris had a shot which was well blocked by a defender. Span across to Summerfield on the right side, 6 yards out on the sprint. It was a real chance, but he was arriving on the sprint. I think that's what made him miss it, and he put it over the bar from 6 yards out. A tightish angle. He felt he had to take it first time. I think he probably did. Then Harris hitting a screamer from 35 yards that moved in the air. Top research from Ollie, who pointed out that last season the Barnet goalkeeper Scott Loach in goal for Hartlepool at the racecourse here was deceived by a curving Luke Young shot when Wrexham won 1-0, and it was the same sort of thing. His feet were planted, he managed to get his hands down to his left and push it round the post, only just though, wasn't it, Ollie? It was a really lucky escape for him.
Yeah, only just. I mean, a lot of people in the ground thought this is in. I was convinced that he was about to score. Couldn't believe to see the ball just whisk past and go out for a corner. It was a good effort. Such an awkward ball for a goalkeeper to deal with as well when it bounces up at you. A slow drive might have been central, perhaps what would have been the saving grace for the goalkeeper. Because if he puts that in the corner, that's a very difficult one to have to deal with. Yeah, it's a good effort. Loach did well at times today as well. He made a couple of good saves. I'm not sure if whether he'd saved it or whether it was the block from a defender from Pearson's header as well. But all in all, it was not a bad game for the keeper.
Yeah, absolutely. Just looking at some of the wall comments, by the way. But I now know the guy with a complicated name. I'm going to call you Sean. Fair dues. And likewise, Hugo, you're Hugh. Okay, fair enough. Hugo claims that Ollie and I are the props, and then asks, he's not sure who the hooker is. I think Kai Rass might have answered your question, but I'm not going to read it out on air. Sean asking what we think of Fondop scoring 3 in 2 games. I think
typical.
He started like that with us and then didn't sustain it. I think the way I look at it, Tollett in, Fondop out. Are we okay with that? I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't need to add anything more to that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
If he's still scoring goal after goal, 25 games into the season, then I'll go fair dues. Right now, no, not really.
Absolutely. Barton Bank, I hate you, but you knew that already. For your comments, not for... Yeah, for all reasons. What the heck.
Wow.
And then Wrexham, of course, carried on and continued to pressure. Ben Tollis came on for his debut, 66th minute. Very much what the Wrexham fans wanted to see. Wrexham are continuing to pressure. Another big chance. Young sweeping in the corner. Pearson meeting at 6 yards down. Great downwards header with power. Superb save by Loach. He got down and pushed it away on the line. It span into the goal mouth. It looked like Pearson going to run and follow it up and just smash it into the net. But the defender managed to hack it behind for a corner. And then Tollis feeding Harris, who made the nice little spin and run into the box, but was always running away from goal and lashed his shot over. The only chance Barnet created in the second half was a chance for Adams, who was 25 yards out and hit a dipping long-range shot, which probably was a bit closer than we actually initially thought it was going to be. And in the last 10 minutes, it was Wrexham pushing hard again. Barnet had to change their shape in order to accommodate us and go from a 3 at the back. The ball's over the top for JJ Hooper, were troubling Santos. Wrexham had opportunities. We had to shout for a penalty when Hooper got in behind Santos into the box. I thought he pulled at him, so there might have been a case for it. Then Santos came over the back of him and headed behind for a corner. The crowd really wanted a pen for that. I think that was okay, but I think the initial contact was dubious. Tollis had a shot over the bar after Barnum Bobbards apparently committed a foul, but nothing was given. And in the last minute, from that penalty shout, Wrexham swung in the corner. Young, whose delivery was good, and James Jennings made that near post run he's been making all season. Got it perfect, made a great header, and glanced at it in about an inch wide of the far post. And it was a draw.
Yeah.
And
Good draw.
Yes.
Entertaining draw.
Entertaining draw, but also frustrating draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair comment. Remember, chaps, YouTube work. See us, so just having me in the middle. I mean, it's what the people want.
You are
but
the star
I
of the
still
show,
think
Mark.
it's
Let's be honest.
I'm gorgeous,
Oh,
but
dear.
You are the
it's
star.
different altogether.
Dare you?
There's no ego around here.
Yeah, there is.
Well, yeah, yours.
Hello.
Violence
Oh, hold on, mate.
begins.
I'm stood here, and there's nobody between
I
you.
can assure you there is. I'm afraid our computer is slow. But
There
however,
we go.
in terms of today's draw, yeah, frustrating. I think he's going to, especially for Brian Hughes, I think he'll be frustrated with just a point. I think there were a few decisions there that were dubious. I think Wrexham certainly had a couple of very valid appeals for a penalty
Is that,
in both halves. You know, in terms of the way in which we played, I thought Barnet were very good. They're a side who I think will be up there in the top 7 at the end of the season. I think there's going to be a couple of surprising teams this year anyway. Woking beat Solihull 2-0 today.
Yeah.
So I think I think if Woking can sustain that, were they
4-1? You said
that attack with
They've
the
struggled.
greatest
lost.
attacking front four in the
Solihull
league.
lost to Woking.
4-1.
Remember?
Halifax
Yeah.
fouled
It's all
4-1.
a while ago.
Halifax was it?
Mm.
Yeah. See, there's some strange ones this season, and like I say,
Sean saying there, 2 points dropped. I mean, it's a long season, so
it's
I don't want to look at it in terms of one day. But you look at those results and you think, oh, should we had won it just to get a bit closer.
yeah, but you can do that with anything, can't you?
Yeah. And 2 points dropped. In terms of the chances we created, I think yes, definitely.
Yeah.
In terms of the quality of the opposition, as we all agree, Barnet looked good, and I think Barnet will be up there. So
This is
not
strange.
necessarily
I'm
2 points.
agreeing
I know it's
with
awful.
things you say.
It's not necessarily 2 points dropped in terms of the quality of opposition,
Yeah.
but I think it is in terms of the quality of chances we made and failed to take.
Well, yeah. For example, look at Ebbsfleet this season.
It's a long way, I can't see it from here.
Woeful, really. If we'd have done, if we were playing Ebbsfleet today and drawn 1-1, I would be really, really disappointed.
Yeah.
Playing Barnet, who are a side who, again, I say they'll be top 7 for me this season.
Yeah,
That's not a bad point. However, like I say, chances created. If certain elements of the game, if it's not, I don't like saying this. If it's not so hot,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
Go back
takes
to the
a-
Scottish argument again now. Is
takes a lot out of sides who play to a high tempo. Yeah, but it's
Hugh, there. I'm getting you out of that sentence because you don't know where it was going, and neither do I.
Well,
Big
I'll
head.
give you something as well. Isn't that not?
He's
12?
off on the side again. Look at this.
Well,
Look at this.
I was just about to let one of our colleagues out, but he's going the other way.
Yeah, watch out for someone walking past here.
So,
just to see.
is that not 12th consecutive game where we scored?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Stats.
Richard.
Yeah,
Hey.
nice.
Where does that date back to now then? Because we've broken
It's back to the same point, doesn't it?
to what?
Oh, I see. In terms of the number of
In terms of
games.
12.
No,
No,
what-
we
how-
scored about
in
15
terms
in
of
a
the
row
record.
in the Mills. So the start of Gary Mills' spell in
What's
charge.
the all-time record?
Oh, God knows. I don't know.
That's one for you.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thanks. Oh, well. So there's a week to the next game, isn't it? Hughes rightly pointing out many new players now and new teams, so they need to gel a bit more for better results. I agree.
Yeah.
I was a little bit pessimistic before the season started. I wasn't convinced by the players we brought in, but now I'm looking at how it's panning out. I'm a lot happier than I was.
Mm.
So yeah, I think as they continue to gel, that should be good.
Ollie Williams has just commented there. He hasn't, but I'm about to with my mouth. Adam Barton played today.
Yeah.
Adam Barton looked good.
Did he?
I thought. Yeah.
Did he?
One horrific case of assault.
I thought he could have been sent off for that
Apart from
late
that,
tackle, a very
but
late tackle.
Other than that, thought he looked
Um,
good. Akil Wright's not in the side. Is there now
Yeah,
a selection headache in terms of midfield as well?
And Carrington.
Well, yeah.
I love
I
Carrington.
never say Carrington because I think he's a right back.
He's an anything.
He's
He's
literally anything, isn't
He's
he?
all things to all men.
Yeah. He's a rugby league player, if you asked.
Really?
Well, I don't know, probably. He's from Warrington, isn't he?
The Hughes, after your comment about no egos, he says that no egos. Mark Griffiths is the best commentator in the world, according to. Well, Hugh, I only deal with facts. That's all I'm saying. I only deal with facts. think that's reasonable enough. Who's man of the match then? Rich, is it your call?
You normally spring it on me, yeah. They
Yeah,
ga-
which means you should anticipate it, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
I know.
If I always spring it on you, it's not a surprise.
Sorry, you always
Men.
foist it on me. Well, they gave it in the
Foist. That's how Bugs Bunny says first.
ground. They gave it.
I don't
to-
care who the sponsors will give it to.
Mark
Yeah.
has been telling me he
No,
doesn't
yeah.
care who the
No,
sponsors
I was
gave
gonna
it to for
say,
6 years.
I was really surprised that they. Yeah, okay.
Okay, go on, go on.
Well, they
He's
gave it
looking
to
at phones, go on.
Chambers.
Yeah.
They gave it to
I was
Chambers.
also surprised.
Did they?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was surprised.
I would not have
He
done
was
that.
good,
No, I
good.
would.
I thought he had an alright game,
He had
but
good moments, didn't he?
not man of the match material
No.
for me.
No,
He has sponsors have a habit of rewarding new players. Have you noticed that? They want to
Yeah.
welcome them in as a good, and he did all right. He did some good things as well, but not a
He
man
did,
of the
but he
match.
wasn't. It wasn't a man of the match performance.
He
I
did
thought,
certain eye-catching things,
Hmm.
whereas Pearson didn't catch the eye as much, but was rock solid.
Oh, he
So
can,
if-
and
if
he always
you-
is, isn't he?
Yeah, if you judge the two centre-backs, Pearson did better in this match, I would
Yes.
argue. But Chambers did certain eye-catching things and
Yeah,
hit a
I
couple of
think,
nice long passes. And people, they were attracted by that.
and I
understand
think you
it.
make a genuine point in as much as I think in that sort of position on the field, the better game you have, the less you actually notice players like that. I think in that position.
And I think as well, Chambers has a habit. I'd like to see him get over of. He's got these long legs. He wants to use the. That sounds like a ZZ Top song. He is constantly when people are back, and he's trying to impetuously come around the side and impatiently win the ball back. And he gives a lot of free kicks away doing that. And I'd rather he didn't. Just be patient and let teams play the ball around in front of us and not hurt us. But he's always trying to nick the ball, come in, and he gives too many free kicks away like that. And I wanted that to stop.
My left field suggestion would be Luke Young.
I think both
Because-
midfielders did
Because
well.
he wasn't noticed as much,
Yeah.
but he just got on with his job, played some good balls, nice intricate play as well, and his set pieces were absolutely marvellous. He's put a case forward today to be on set pieces over Summerfield.
He did well, and Sean, they're saying he thinks Barton can short the midfield as well.
Yeah, I
so
thought he
I
did
think
when he
Summerfield
came
just
on.
ran himself to the ground. It was hot.
Yeah.
He's knocking on a little bit.
Oh, was it hot? Was it, Mark?
It was hot, apparently. Yeah. And Summerfield, he's from the Midlands, so I mean, he's not used to all this. Yeah. we may have
I don't think he is from the Midlands.
He's
Where is he
Geordie then, whatever. I don't care.
from? No,
But
he's certainly not. I can't
is he
remember.
Russell Penn or not? I can't remember.
He
Is
isn't
it?
Russell Penn.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
No,
Cheers, I was
he
not
isn't.
quite sure
I
about
can
that.
confirm.
Oh, I'm glad about
That's
that.
an exclusive as
That's
well.
good. That's good. Do you think we might have interrupted Rich's man of the match cogitations?
I didn't know
I think
Rich
you-
was still here.
I actually think he gave me enough time to have a look
we
at the team
stalled for
sheet
you
and
there.
think
After
what I
I
thought.
foisted it upon
Yeah,
you.
you foisted it upon me. I
like a cad.
thought Hooper had a good game,
Yeah.
and I also think Harris had a good game. Summerfield and Rutherford were busy. Standout performance is difficult because I thought it was a good team
Are you
performance.
still stalling?
Yeah. I'm gonna, because Mark never agrees with me, so I can never get it right. But
If you go for Prince Andrew, there's going to be trouble.
I'm gonna give it today.
You shored up the
I
right
am
side
going to
there.
give it to Hooper today.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the, just on the balance.
I
of
think I
things.
would actually. Yeah. So I'm sorry to
Good.
disappoint you, Rich, but
God,
I
It's
thought
been
he was
4
very lively.
years since we asked Rich to talk
five,
about that.
5 years.
Myself and
Oh,
Mark
yeah.
have both discussed
Mhm.
everything from,
So, yeah,
Prince
yeah.
Andrew
That's
to
it. Yeah.
the ethics of war,
Yeah.
and now we're here.
It's
Who's
amazing,
on?
isn't it?
Yeah,
At
who's
the,
leading the
we're here.
line
We're
now?
here at the point where Mark actually agrees with my
44-year-old Wayne
choice.
Rooney is playing up front for us
Yes.
now.
Absolutely. At last. No, I'm not going to finish that sentence. I get us sued. Ben Woods said Wrexham played shocking. I don't think that. That's very
No.
harsh. And doesn't think that Harris had a good game. I mean, a lot of good movements and
Oh
threats.
no, I
and
think, yeah.
A couple of
You know.
stray passes come the end of the game.
Yeah.
Thought he played well. Ran him ragged. He was the reason that Rowan came off.
He had a
Yeah.
couple
He
of
got-
passes that
If
went
a
astray, but
team
apart from
if a
that,
team make a switch because of one individual player
Mm.
and what damage he can possess down a flank, he's having a good game.
Yeah, 2 times he got isolated with the penalty shout and then the yellow card, which is they pulled him straight away afterwards and changed their shape. Yeah, I thought, I mean, I think he tired.
Yeah.
But, I wouldn't disagree with. I wouldn't agree with that though myself.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. I thought it was a decent performance.
I thought we played well.
Disappointed
today.
we didn't finish our chances.
If you're disappointed that you didn't win, it's
Yeah.
because you played well.
Yeah,
generally.
And I think that word of wisdom is the way we should sign off, because that was deep. That was. You are very much our Dalai Lama.
Speaking words of wisdom. What song's that for? Monorail.
The track could bend. Tune in next time to find out. Oh, I can't wait to do my Wrexham track.
Yeah,
to
that is the
Hartlepool.
biggest plug I want to give in the world right now. If you haven't watched Rex Track yet, or
You're a
Wrexham
fool.
Track, or whatever we're calling it, it's a track. Mark Griffiths on an away day. Watch it. It's on our YouTube channel. He has promised an even better version for Hartlepool. Now, the first one was pretty good. So, Mark, I'm very, very excited.
It's going to be a thing. Trust me. Right now then, you get now to enjoy watching me work out how to finish the live stream. It's going to be fun. Right, that's the wrong programme. Hello everybody. Oh, there's another message there. Oh, it's a good question from Sean. Do we cross too much rather than go down the centre? Felt like we did against Halifax.
I don't think we cross too much. I think our choice of cross is poor.
Yeah, that's true, I
Our
think.
decision making when we get into the final third needs to improve. Low balls across the face of goal have worked so far, and I don't like seeing us going high against big centre halves. I'd rather us just keep it on the ground, get to the byline and cut it back rather than cross. But decision making needs to improve.
I felt in the set pieces, often we ignored the obvious thing to do, which was avoid Santos, who was a man mountain. Who did you play first day? Barrow. The Barrow game is so many overhead crosses, especially from Harris. So no, I think that Nolly's nailed it there. It's we need to get the quality better of crossing. So right, back to working out. Good question. Oh hello, I pray to win. Hugh says in the next game, is it Hartlepool? Yes, it is. And they've not started that well. I don't know how they did today. Having said that, so hopefully, we'll be all right. Right, so chaps, we're skedaddling. Happy YouTubing. No, nice. Stop streaming. That could be the one.